All right, guys. One of the keys to having a really successful PropSpeed application is being organized. So make sure you got everything set up beforehand. For example, you always want to have your safety gear. Now that includes gloves, eye protection, a paint suit, and a dust mask. Next, you have your environment to consider. So you've got your temperature sensor, your humidity sensor, and your infrared thermometer for checking your surface temps. Next, you want to have everything you need for surface preparation. That includes a big roll of 80 grit sandpaper and a dual action sander. Then you've got your prop clean wipe and your prop prep wipe for preparation and cleaning after you prep the surface. And you want to make sure you've got plenty of clean, dry rags. Then we've got our stir sticks for making sure we can mix up our etching primer, and we use this little stir wheel on a drill sometimes to make sure we go that extra step. You've got your rollers and your trays for the etch primer, your clear coat, and brushes, and plenty of mixing cups. And there you have it, a well-organized setup to guarantee a successful application. We'll take a quick break to talk about safety. There's 4 key items that you need to have. Number 1, a paint suit. Number 2, gloves. Number 3, safety glasses. And finally, a dust mask. And that's it for safety gear. Now we're all safe and ready to start coating. All right, let's talk about metal preparation and profiling. At the end of the day, for a good PropSpeed application, we want to end up with an 80 grit profile. That means 80 grit sandpaper on a dual action sander. Now, to get to the clean bare metal, you can do it any way you like. If you have to remove old PropSpeed, old anti-foul, or old growth from any metal substrate, you can use whatever method you like. That might be a wire wheel, a roll-lock on a disc grinder, or even sandblasting. Then, to clean that same metal surface, we're gonna use our Prop Clean Wipe. You're gonna start with your Prop Clean Wipe, and you're gonna use that to remove any dust, oils, or whatever other contamination might have ended up on that metal as you were preparing it. You're gonna wipe it on and then wipe it off with a clean, dry rag. For your Prop Prep solution, you're gonna do the same thing again. You're gonna wipe the Prop Prep solution on any metal that you wanna coat, let it sit for a couple of seconds, and then wipe it off again with a clean, dry rag. So now we've got a clean, bare metal surface that's ready to take paint. Today, in South Florida, it's warm out, so we're gonna have a shortened window. How long is that window? Well, refer to your instructions for your specific environmental conditions, but today it's gonna be about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, guys, we're ready to lay some paint down on these props. We've got a clean, bare surface, and we're ready to get into our etching primer. But before we start, we gotta make sure we mix this really well. One of the best parts about the PropSpeed system is that we have a very high solids content in our etching primer. That means that we're gonna have to mix it up before we start. So you remember those stir sticks I showed you? Now's the time to use it. We're gonna mix this paint up really well before we add the etching primer hardener. That's very important. Once we're all mixed and the etching primer is added, now you can grab a 4-inch foam roller and get into coating. Now I've found that I can get into almost any part on the bottom of a boat with the 4-inch foam roller. Occasionally you'll need to use a small paintbrush to get into those hard to reach places, but for the most part, I do everything with the roller. Why do I do that? 2 reasons. Number 1, it takes less time. Number 2, you're gonna get a more even surface coat. All things that are gonna lead to a great application. One of the most important things with the etching primer to remember is your timing. This product flashes very quickly, and we've got a narrow application window of about 3 to 5 minutes before you roll your next coat. We're gonna go 2 coats of this etching primer, and you've only got that 3 to 5 minute window in between. You can set a timer on your watch or on your phone, but one of my favorite ways to test is use the touch test. I'm gonna take a gloved hand, and I'm gonna touch it to the propeller and see if that paint's dry. If I'm not getting any paint on the finger of my glove, we're ready to recoat. Now, it's really critical that we get that next coat on in that window. I cannot stress that enough. All right, guys, the next and final coat that we're gonna do in the PropSpeed system is the PropSpeed Clear. PropSpeed Clear is a specialized silicone top coat that is designed to release any fouling. You probably already know that, and you also know that this is where the magic happens, so we wanna make sure we get this right. Just like the etching primer, this is gonna need to be applied over your 2 coats of etch primer within that 3 to 5 minute top coat window. The PropSpeed Clear Coat is a thick coating, but it self-levels really nicely. So you want to use a high-quality brush that isn't going to lose a lot of bristles, and you want to make sure to brush it out real smooth so that you get a nice, even coat. Make sure there are no heavy runs or sags in the clear. You'll have anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to touch these up. Any drips that harden on the edges of the propeller blades can be carefully cut off the following day. Make sure the surface is completely coated with clear coat. Any missed areas will appear dull in luster. When you have finished coating the entire propeller with clear, give the propeller one more visual inspection just to make sure there are no areas that you might have missed. And check again there are no runs in the clear coat. Prop speed requires a minimum of 8 hours to dry before launching. In cold conditions, 5 to 13 degrees Celsius or 40 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, we recommend at least 24 hours dry time before you launch the boat. Thank you for joining us. I hope this video was informative and can instill the confidence in your applicators to make sure that they get the job done right. If you've got any more questions, visit us at propspeed.com, where you can find contact numbers for all of our technical field sales representatives, and they're there to answer any questions that you may have. Good luck out there, guys.